Hello and welcome to the Online College of Coding video tutorial series. This is video 4 of the series on beginner programming concepts. In this video we will be covering statements. Before you start this video, it's a good idea that you've seen the preceding videos in the series. Let's get started. Imagine you're making a jumping game. You probably don't want the player to constantly jump all the time. This is where you need statements. An if statement will do the trick. Place the code that makes the player jump inside, and then all it needs is a condition. All if statements require a condition. These must return a Boolean value, so they nearly always include a logical operator. The scratch block key space pressed will only return true if the spacebar is down. This if statement uses an equivalent operator to check if the variable lives has a value of 0, and if the condition is true, then the code runs to make the player lose. Let's add some complexity to this if statement. Now we have an else attached to the bottom. This else is what happens when the if condition returns false. If you read the statement out, it should make sense. If variable 1 is less than 10, then change the color effect by 100. Else, next costume. So when your program comes across the if statement, it checks the if condition, and if it's true, it runs the code. Otherwise, it'll skip ahead and run the else. Now your programs can answer the questions you ask them and use those answers to control how their code runs. Repeat loops are next. They repeat code until they are told to stop. There are two types of repeat loops. The first type of repeat loop takes a number as its condition and repeats its code that number of times. The second type of repeat loop takes a condition almost like an if statement. However, the loop will continue repeating until the condition is true. Here is a snippet of code that moves the cat a little bit closer to the dog. Notice it's only moving the cat a little bit, because the code only runs through once and doesn't repeat. By combining this code with one of the two repeat loops, we can make it so that the cat moves all the way to the dog and then stops. We can use the distance to block from Scratch and set it to the dog, then change the number of steps to move to 1. This will get the distance to the dog in pixels, and then move to each of those pixels until it reaches the dog. This will work, but it might be a little bit slow. Now for the second type of repeat loop, the repeat until. If we use Scratch's touching block and set it to the dog, it will return false when the cat is not touching the dog, and then move and repeat the check until the cat is touching the dog. This code will do the same job, just a lot faster. If the distance between the cat and the dog is 100, then this script will only have to run 10 times, because 10 times 10 is 100. Whereas if we use this previous script and the distance is 100, this will have to run 100 times. Repeat loops are a great programming tool. They'll come in handy in most of the algorithms you write. What's an algorithm? Find out in the next tutorial.